All right, so today we're diving into something that, let's be honest, can be a little daunting. Life insurance after a prostate cancer diagnosis.
Not the most cheerful topic, I'll grant you that, but hey, that's why we're here, right?
Exactly, to break it down, make it less scary, and give you the info you need. And to help us out, we're tapping into some great material from the folks over at Diversified Insurance Brokers.
They really know their stuff.
Okay, so let's just get the big question out of the way first. If you've had prostate cancer, does that mean you can forget about getting life insurance? Like, is it game over?
The million-dollar question, and the answer is, thankfully, no, not at all. Lots of survivors, especially those diagnosed early and treated successfully, they can absolutely find coverage.
Okay, that's good to hear. But I imagine insurance companies are going to be pretty careful, right? Like, how do they figure out who to cover and what the rates should be?
Well, think of it like this. They're assessing risk. They want to understand the whole picture, right?
Makes sense. So what are some of the specific things they're looking at?
So one of the big ones is stage and grade of the cancer. Have you heard of the Gleason score?
Yeah, I think so. That's about how aggressive the cancer is, right?
Right on. So a lower score, like a 6, that's considered low grade. But a higher score, 8 or above, that signals a more aggressive type.
Got it. So that's one piece of the puzzle. What else?
They're also going to dig into your treatment history, surgery, radiation, hormone therapy, the whole 9 yards. And how long you've been in remission, that matters too. Like the longer, the better, generally speaking.
Right, so they're looking for signs that the cancer is really gone and not coming back.
Exactly. And then, of course, PSA levels, those regular blood tests.
Yeah, to see if there are any signs the cancer has returned.
Yep, those are super important. And then, of course, our overall health picker, other conditions you might have, your lifestyle, all that jazz.
So it's a lot to consider. It's like a big risk assessment based on all these different factors.
Exactly. It's about putting all those pieces together, like one of those puzzles, right? They want to see the full picture before making a decision.
So let's try to put this into a real-world example. Let's say someone had, I don't know, a Gleason score of 7, and they've been in remission for a couple of years. What kind of life insurance options might they be looking at?
Okay, so in that kind of scenario, there's a pretty good chance they could qualify for, standard rates. Or maybe they might have to pay a slightly higher premium, but nothing too crazy.
That's pretty encouraging, actually.
Yeah, it is. For folks with earlier stage cancers, especially if things are looking good, getting affordable coverage, it's definitely possible.
That's good news. Okay, but what about someone who, let's say, had a more advanced case, maybe stage 3, and has been in remission for, I don't know, let's say 2 years? What are their options?
So that's where we start looking at things like simplified issue policies or, maybe even guaranteed issue. These are specifically designed for folks who, because of their health history, might not qualify for the traditional life insurance policies.
Okay, so tell me a little bit more about the differences between those two, simplified issue versus guaranteed issue. What are the key things someone should know about each type?
Sure, simplified issue, as the name suggests, it simplifies things, right? The application process is way easier. You usually don't need a full medical exam, although they might ask you some health questions.
Okay, so if you've had cancer but are otherwise in decent shape, this could be a good option.
Yeah, definitely worth exploring.
And what about guaranteed issue?
Okay, so guaranteed issue, that's, well, it's kind of like it sounds. You're guaranteed to be approved no matter what your health history looks like.
Wow, so no medical exams, no health questions.
Nope, none. But, and this is a big but, it's important to understand that there are trade-offs.
Yeah, there's got to be a catch, right?
Right. You're probably going to be paying higher premiums and you might end up with a, smaller death benefit. It really depends on your specific needs and what you're comfortable with.
Right. So it sounds like having a professional, someone who really understands all these nuances to guide you through this process would be super helpful.
Oh, absolutely. It can make a huge difference. Imagine you're, I don't know, trying to hike through some uncharted territory. Wouldn't you want a guide who knows the trails, the dangers, the best shortcuts?
Yeah, that's a great analogy.
Right. It's the same with life insurance. Having an expert by your side can save you a ton of time, stress, and potentially even money.
Makes sense. Okay, so we've talked about simplified issues and guaranteed issue, but let's circle back to those fully underwritten policies for a sec, just to make sure we've covered all the bases.
Yeah, good point. So fully underwritten policies, those are kind of the gold standard. They often come with the best rates, but there's a little more involved. You'll need a full medical exam, and they'll really dig deep into your health history.
Right, they're doing their due diligence. So it sounds like there's a whole spectrum of options, right? From fully underwritten to guaranteed issue, and choosing the right path depends on each person's individual circumstances.
Exactly. One size definitely does not fit all in this case.
All right, so let's say you're someone listening to this, and you're thinking, okay, I want to do everything I can to get the most affordable coverage possible. What advice would you give? Are there any proactive steps someone can take?
Well, first off, I'd say talk to a broker, like a really good one, someone who specializes in this kind of thing. But beyond that, I'm going to sound like a broken record here, but maintaining good health, that's huge.
Right. It's not just about feeling good. It actually impacts your insurance rates.
Big time. Staying active, eating healthy, managing your stress, all of that plays a role. And insurance companies, they notice.
It's about taking control of the things you can control.
Exactly. And honestly, it's not even just about the rates. It's about living a longer, healthier life.
Absolutely. Any other tips?
Oh, yeah. Don't skip those checkups with your doctor, especially after a cancer diagnosis. Those are crucial.
Makes sense.
It's not just about monitoring your health. It's about showing the insurance companies that you're being proactive. You're taking things seriously.
So it's like you're proving you're a good risk.
Exactly.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what would you say is the most important takeaway for our listeners?
I'd say don't let this whole life insurance thing freak you out. You've already been through a lot. Knowledge is power. Understanding your options, finding a good broker, taking care of your health, all of that can make this process way less overwhelming. And more importantly, it can help you get the peace of mind you deserve, knowing that your loved ones are protected.
I love it. It's about taking charge, right?
Exactly.
Well said. I hope this has been helpful for everyone listening. Remember, this is just a starting point. If you have more questions, reach out to Diversified insurance brokers or do some research. There's a ton of great information out there. 2010-25.